What's going on?
Fantastic, it is. Ron Bumblefoot, oh, in the flesh. Rockin' a spring. How was that trip?
Good, wonderful. Not bad.
The Las Vegas airport treating you well?
Oh, you know how it is. Yeah, as you're getting in, it's like the plane is getting thrown all over the place, and then you just touch down. It's like, it's great coming back.
Quite interesting stuff.
It's been about 2 years since I've been in Vegas. So.
Oh wow! So much is happening. So many rockers are moving here, of course, as you know, and more and more of these bands breaking out of here. I was telling a friend. He manages the Killers, but when he first told me about him before anybody had ever heard of him, he said, I got this band of Killers, and I'm imagining like Iron Maiden, like AC/DC. Yeah. And he said, no, they're like an 80s kind of cool, like alternative band. It was the start of much in Vegas. So now, Art of Anarchy, the second album. Tell us about the evolution of this, because I know basically the first project had Scott Weiland on it. It's a whole new thing with Scott, another Scott Stapp. But talk about how the project has evolved as far as like your, the songwriting and the production.
Evolved is definitely the word for this thing. Like, yeah, come on over.
Come closer, listen.
Yeah, pull up a chair. So, Art of Anarchy started in 2011, and it's John and Vince Voda, the twin brothers, play guitar and drums, and
do a double take. It's like, who? Which one?
You know, I've known them 20 years, and I still mix them up.
Is that right?
I do. So I've known them since they were teenagers, and they had local bands in New York, and I would record them, sometimes produce their stuff, and we just always stayed friends. And then in 2011, they wanted to really get back into it for real. They took a break, and they got the itch. So they had 10 songs that they wrote, just their guitar and drum parts. They had these skeletons of 10 songs, and they said, let's make an album. It's like, come on in. Brought them into the studio and started recording their stuff. And as we were recording, they would say, hey, Ron, why don't you throw a guitar solo right here? It's like, sure, why not? Bust something out. And then the original idea was to get different singers on different songs, having a different person on each song. First person was Scott Weiland. So he did the song Till the Dust Is Gone. Came out great. And then, with talking to his manager and everyone, like, you should make this a band. I was like, okay. So
you just came in off kind of a one-off to begin with and felt it out?
And then it became him doing the whole album and writing, his parts for the album, and then he would do it at his place, and they would send me everything, and I would put them in, and he was involved. He gave his 2 cents, on the mixes, the mastering, for it to be what he liked. What song he would have liked to be the single, things like that. Like he seemed to care, have interest in it. We signed the paperwork and made it official. We were going to be a band. And John Boyer joined as the bass player, and that was it. So it started off as just this personal project that evolved into a band back then. But then, of course, it was very public how Scott Weiland distanced himself and did not want to be part of it. What can you do? So we put out the album, and then it was a question of, do we just put out the album and just say, all right, enjoy, and that's it, and move on with our lives, or do we find another singer? And then next thing you know, 2 months later, me and the voters are flying down to Florida to meet with Scott Stapp and hang out and jam in a rehearsal room and just vibe out and see how it goes. And it went well. So the next
things just kind of clicked on a musical level with Scott?
Yeah. We had no plan. We just went into a room and said, all right, let's just make some noise, see what happens. And it was nice. We started writing a song then and there.
So he started coming up with lyrics and
just melodies and a whole structure. It's like, wow, just wrote a song on the spot. All right, this shouldn't be tough.
Yeah.
We grabbed dinner and just talked about what we're all looking for personally from a band. Like what would make us happy, what we need for it to work.
Because obviously everybody has other projects, so it's not like he's got to totally commit, but it's a serious project.
Yeah. And also, issues of, he wants to keep sober. He wants to be in an environment that's healthy. And John and Vince, we've never done drugs, never even smoked a cigarette. I've drank in the past, everyone's had a little something, but we're not drinkers. It's a
seeing one person fall in the bushes is enough.
And
That's
even
not
then,
not the way.
You know, I don't judge and let people enjoy themselves. I'm the guy that would carry them back safely to their room. That's
right. Drink in moderation.
But yeah, so that was it. You know, we were all on the same page with that. It just seemed like we had an outlook that would work. So a month later, the whole band got together in a room up in New York for a week and a half, day and night, just jamming and just coming up with ideas and letting songs come out of it. And in that week and a half, we wrote 5 of the songs on the album. Okay. We wrote half the album just in that week and a half together.
Just started flowing out. And
so this time we built it from the ground up organically and the way a band should. Yeah. So that's the big difference. From there, I'm on tour, I get back, and Moyer's on tour, and I get back, and Scott's on tour, and then he gets back, and I'm on tour. So there was a good year of us juggling our schedules and getting together when we could to do a photo shoot or shoot a video or write more songs and record and finish up recordings and all that kind of stuff. And that's it. Then in March the album came out.
Now, live, are you doing any of the stuff from the first album?
We're going to do one song from the first album, but we're doing everything from the new album.
Okay.
So we're doing the entire new album, plus we're going to do Till the Dust.
Yeah. Well, obviously the focus is on the new album, but obviously that was one of Weiland's last projects. What's your greatest memory? I know it was obviously difficult at times, but what was your greatest memory?
A lot. It's not like we were buddies and very talking all the time or anything like that.
But you wrote together, collaborated?
He wrote and sent it to us.
He wrote to the tracks?
Yeah, because that's how it started. You know,
okay.
like that's.
So there wasn't a lot of in-room collaboration?
No. It was just him doing his stuff at his place and would send it to me. Okay. And we just had phone calls other than, video and photo shoots and stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I mean, we always had nice conversations. We did. He was always... I would just describe him as like a gentle soul, He was not this, he didn't have this hostility or belligerence or aggression or anger or anything. Like he was, when you speak to him, I remember the first time we spoke, had this half-hour conversation. I remember hanging up feeling like, you know what, I know him better after a half hour. I feel like we know each other better in a half-hour conversation than some people I've worked with, in 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Now, on the new album, what songs are you most proud of? Do you think will stand the test of time?
That is a tough one because each one has its own little character to it and a little something about it that means something to you. So, for me, there's certain songs where I just, as a guitar player, I like the guitar solos in it. Yeah. Other ones where I just like the melodies and the simple, stripped down, basic, nice song thing about it. So a song like Change Man, I think, is one of those kind of songs. For guitar stuff, I like Echo of a Scream, Somber, that guitar solo, Afterburn. Even 1,000 Degrees. But each one has a little something. I like Won't Let You Down and Change Man, those two I like.
Beautiful. You play any fretless on this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Now, how did you originally get interested in the fretless?
Now, the fretless, well, there's a company, Vigier, V-I-G-I-E-R, a guitar company out in France, a boutique company, that when I was touring, doing some of my first touring out in France in 1997, 20 years ago. Wow, that went fast. And one of their people brought one of their guitars to one of my shows and said, try this out. And I remember telling them, I'm not looking for a guitar endorsement. I build my own stuff and I'm happy with that. I'm not looking to get gear. And they're like, just try it. I'm like, I don't want to try it. Try it. No, try it. Okay. And man, the thing played great. And I couldn't deny it. It played so much better than my own stuff. I was like, all right, let's talk. So started talking to them and just about how when I do my own guitars that I would build and create these weird monstrosities and things. And I felt like that was part of who I was, part of the expression, I guess you could say. So I didn't want to lose that. So I asked them, are you willing to make some kind of custom guitars? And they were cool with that. So they made this one guitar that looked like a big giant flying foot with B stripes and wings that pop out when you bend down the vibrato bar. That was my main guitar for a long time. And then we went to one of the first NAMM shows together. and I saw they had this fretless guitar. I was like, why didn't you tell me you guys make this? It's like, no one plays these things. It's like, we've been making this since 1980. We've sold about 3 of them. I was like, well, give me one.
Now, had you ever played a violin or any fretless instrument before?
No.
Okay. So you were just up for the challenge and
yeah, it's a slide on every finger.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. So the first thing I did with it, just took it home and just started writing songs, just fooling around with it and getting a feel and seeing what ideas come up. Remember, one of the first songs I wrote on it was a song called Day to Remember. And that ended up 10 years later becoming the theme song to that metal show.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, there we go.
Thank you.
Etched in history.
So that's the thing. It started becoming a bigger part of what I do, to the point that I needed a double neck where I can do both within a song and not have to choose to play a song fretted or fretless. I wanted to be able to do both and switch necks during. And I do even, you know, little moments in our songs, like in the song "The Madness." During the chorus, I'm doing a zom, bop, 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 switch, bop, 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 back, do, do.
Yeah,
little stuff like that you could just get it in there, just to have an additional
all in one guitar.
Yeah,
that's great. Well, obviously, it'll be etched in history. You know, your GNR run is part of your life, and of course,
8 years.
You know, yeah, that's amazing stuff. What are your greatest memories? I know, you know, the reaction of the fans, being able to feel that response to songs you collaborated on, but other than that, what do you hold the dearest in your memories?
They still continue, because it's about the people you make and the relationships that continue. So just last night, had 10 people that all got together and we ate at the buffet. And who was it? It was, you know, half of the people there were friends that I made from GNR shows. They were fans that would come to all the shows and they become your friends. So do a shout out to I don't know if I should start mentioning names, but yeah.
Well, you had all the residencies here at the Hard Rock and all the great memories in Vegas, but it was amazing. Now, obviously, they continue to play some of your era songs in the band. What's that like to hear Slash playing on a damn song he wrote or collaborated on? Is it kind of surreal?
Not really, because I came into it playing his song, so I get it. So for me, it's just the band continues and the music continues, and look, whatever he plays is going to be great because he's just got that style, he's got that touch, and he's going to make it his own. So it's kind of cool, you know, to hear someone else giving it their touch and doing it their way. It's like, you know, that I didn't think of doing it like that. That's cool.
Yeah, it's all open for interpretation.
Yeah, and that's the beautiful thing about music. Is that
anybody can cover the damn song, so you're going to hear a lot more of it, I'm sure, in the future. Now, obviously, we can't wait to see you rock the stage tonight with the new Art of Anarchy songs, but what advice do you give to the younger creative people, whether they be a guitarist or just, you know, a creative person coming up? Obviously, industry has radically changed and, you know, continuing to morph. It will for the rest of our lives. But what do you tell them as far as like the mind state that it takes to really persevere and find your own voice and style?
Don't try. That's the thing. Don't try. If you're trying,
don't force it.
you're trying. You're putting a leash on it. If anything, you have to just sort of just like let go of the steering wheel in a way, and just let things happen and trust that the real things will come out when you do that, and have faith and have confidence that the real you is okay, you know, and it may not be what you hear on the radio now. It might end up being what you hear on the radio in 20 years or never, but it doesn't matter. You have to be authentic and you have to be you, and if you're doing that, there will be an audience that comes to you. The right people will find you in what you do, and that could be 1 million people, it could be 100 people, it doesn't matter, because if you're doing something that isn't real to you, in the end you're going to be miserable and you're going to get nothing out of it. It doesn't matter. You know, tangible, physical bullshit things you get from it, it's going to mean nothing to you. But the only thing that matters is the stuff that you can't touch, that you can't hold, stuff that you can't even put in the bag. You know, those are the things that matter. In the end, none of it comes with you. When you die, all you have is what you left behind, and at least you could say you did something real that meant something to a lot of people. That's what matters.
Yeah.